GYGB, Guard Your Girl Boxing. It's your man Coltrane, holding it down dolo for the brethren. Shout out to Docs, Rada, Big Mizzle, Sleep E, Volley Boy, BJ Murray, the whole GYGB family out there. No green walls today. I know y'all was getting spoiled to that. But you know, we got the GOAT himself, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joey Lou in the background. I don't know, just like working on 1, 2, getting loose over here. I don't know what it is, man. It's summertime. Like Samuel L. Jackson said in Do the Right Thing, today's weather is hot. Yeah, it's H-E-double-L hockey sticks here in Illadelph, but so is Guard Your Girl Boxing. We still, just because I don't say it no more, we still the hottest, #1 boxing source in all of the world. Guard Your Girl Boxing. Lot going on. Well, now there is. You know, I was a little worried, folks, about this summer because I was a little unsure about where we were going, what was going on. I mean, I know the July 4th down in Penn's Landing, we got the fireworks popping off. I'm sure you got your fireworks popping off in your little local area. So that was the only fireworks I knew was popping off. Looked like we got a little post-July 4th treat, and I'll get in that in a little bit. We got Glen Johnson, called Froch. Shout out to Nottingham, London. Just messing with y'all. Nottingham, England. I know what it is. You know, we got that jumping off. The Super 6 tournament finally coming to closure. We finally gonna have a Super 6 king. Hopefully by the end of this, I guess this is the end of this year. I don't know how they're working that out, but we're gonna have a Super 6 king. Bit of news out of the junior welterweight division. You know, one of the hottest once was one of the hottest divisions in boxing. Still is, but you know, it's been kind of stalled for a little minute. Amir Khan, yeah, he got his G game up. Say what you want about Amir Khan, but he's calling out everybody. Rather you want to say he's bluffing, rather you want to say that, you know, he's just doing it just to sell some wolf tickets, giving up half your purse, giving up some UK revenue shares to a guy that never made $1 million in his life. Yeah, I know Tim Bradley got 1.2 million or whatever to fight some bum. I don't want to say some bum. Let me rephrase that. To fight some filler fight coming up this summer. But that being said, wasn't it Timothy Bradley that said he wanted to take on Amir Khan? I'm just saying, ain't that what he said? Ain't that what Timothy Bradley said? He said he wanted to take on Amir Khan. While Amir Khan picked his BlackBerry up and called his bluff number. And Timothy Bradley banged on him. He didn't pick up. He didn't pick up the phone. He hit the ignore button. You know, we hear all this time, and this is the same thing I was talking about a couple weeks ago. You know, we always making excuses. Stop making excuses. Timothy Bradley froze up like a popsicle. You know, he froze up like a popsicle. Amir Khan called him out, and I'm tired of people making excuses for these fighters, you know, getting into all their personal businesses and financial situation. Well, here's the fact, Jack. Timothy Bradley will never, ever get a fight like of this magnitude in that division anyway. We already saw what he has done at welterweight. It wasn't a really good job. You know, just to catch people up to speed, because I kind of went on a little tirade there. Amir Khan called Timothy Bradley out, offered him, you know, I don't want to get into specific numbers and all that. He offered him a nice piece of chicken, if you understand what I'm saying. He took a nice portion of his food to some guy that really didn't deserve it, and offered him a nice piece to Timothy Bradley, and Timothy Bradley rejected it. You know, this is the same guy that said he wanted to be great, and don't give me that nonsense like he's Floyd Mayweather, like he got options. Timothy Bradley has no options. He has no options. Let me tell you this, folks. If he happens to get knocked out, Amir Khan that is, by Zab Judah, do you think Zab Judah's giving Timothy Bradley a fight? Do you really think Zab Judah's giving Timothy Bradley a fight, a risk, no reward situation like that? You know, I know he got the promotional thing, and again, I don't want to jump into this dude business and, you know, his promotional situation with Gary Shaw, who I heard can be a tough guy to deal with. With that being said, you know, you wanted this dude early this year. What's the difference now? Okay, so you're going to become a free agent. What you think? This other company going to pick you up and you're going to happen to get a fight with Pacquiao? Is that what you're banking on? Bad move by Timothy Bradley. We've seen in the past where guys turned down fights and went on to become and pick up successful fights. Later, we seen Winky Wright do this numerous times. We saw Bernard Hopkins do this numerous times. Nard got lucky. Let's keep it all thick. Let's keep it funky. Nard got lucky. He with the Trinidad and the De La Hoya situation, and Nard got a more compelling story. He's an ex-con. You know, he comes from the Illadelph, a boxing city, a boxing haven, a boxing mecca. Nard got a slick mouthpiece on him. Timothy Bradley has none of the above I just mentioned. Winky Wright got lucky as well. He landed some fights with some cash cows, which we don't really have in the business no more. Felix Trinidad, shout out to Puerto Rico, is not walking through that door. Oscar De La Hoya is not walking through that door. So I don't know, like how Winky Wright and Bernard Hopkins landed, you know, their lottery tickets. I don't see that happening for Timothy Bradley. That's why I think he misplayed his hand. And, you know, he was talking all greasy, and he didn't cash in on his ticket. You know, so we'll see what happens with that. But props to Amir Khan. He's taking on Zab Judah, giving you people out there, because you had nothing to do this summer other than go to a bunch of cookouts you didn't want to go to. Now you got a big-time fight happening July 23rd. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be a good fight. You know, say what you want about Zab. He's what I believe is the GOAT of boxing. Sweet Pea Whitaker, although I said Ray Robinson is, and he is, but you know, I got something personal with Sweet Pea. No, you know what? No, you know what? But Zab is going to be in this fight. We'll get into the X's and O's later. I just want to give props to Amir Khan for taking on a Zab Judah, giving him a nice piece of the pie. You know, Zab is going to eat well off this fight. Zab ain't no fool. You see, Zab ain't turn that down, Tim. Tim, I don't know what goes on in Palm Springs, but, you know, I'm from Philly, you know, land of hustlers, and Zab is from Brooklyn. I'm sure I know he's from a land of hustlers, judging by all the great people that came out of that borough. You know, you need to get your hustle game up, Timothy Bradley. We got the meat and potatoes of the show. Glen Johnson versus Carl Froch from Nottingham, London. Just playing with y'all. Nottingham, England. You know, I always got to take a dig at that because that was one of the funniest moments in GYGB history when we got a geographical lesson from the Nottingham natives. But yeah. So this is it, man. We're down to the final stretch. Gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a brutal fight. One of the things that I always said about Carl Froch that I said I wanted to see him win a fight decisively win a fight. A lot of Carl Froch's fights, he was barely winning, or he barely won, or a late heroic happened, a knockout. And most recent, I'm talking about Andre Durrell, Jermaine Taylor, Mikkel Kessler. Even though I thought he won that fight, but it wasn't decisive. When he fought Arthur Abraham, I saw something in him. And shout out to the people from over the pond that sent me some emails and sent me some footage of Carl Froch's earlier fights. Some of the fights that wasn't posted on the States of him being more of a quote-unquote boxer. What I saw Carl Froch do in the Arthur Abraham fight, now granted, it was Arthur Abraham, he has no wins in the tournament, and everybody's kind of been abusing Arthur Abraham. But that being said, Arthur Abraham still ain't no slouch. And Carl Froch actually carried out a game plan. Y'all hear me say this over and over and time after time. You know, one of my signs of a fighter that I like and that I can respect is a fighter that can carry out a game plan for 12 straight rounds. A lot of young fighters today, even Amir Khan, not to pick on him, but I haven't seen him carry out a game plan for 12 straight rounds. But Carl Froch has done that. He did it against Arthur Abraham. He was able to box on the outside. Arthur Abraham is a mauling, tough, although he's a peekaboo, one-hit quitter type of fighter, Carl Froch was able to outbox him from the outside. And that's key in this particular fight because that's how you beat Glen Johnson. You beat Glen Johnson by movement, angles, feints. I'm not saying Carl Froch is Sweet Pea. Don't get that misconstrued and don't get it twisted. I know some of y'all be like, Train, you bugging, you going over the top. No, I always tell y'all, I deal with X's and O's. I call it the shotties. Shotties is slang for sunglasses. I call it the shotties test. You know, I look at stuff through my lenses. I look at stuff, and I need a new pair of lenses because somebody clipped me for my shotties in Puerto Rico. I left them on the beach. my Hugos, but that's a whole nother story. But looking at him through my lenses, Glen Johnson, he wants to be here. He want to chop. He want to be here. This is what Glen want to do. And I'm in the southpaw. Let me switch to the orthodox. Froch got to move. He got to move. You know, bang, just tackle. Tap glove, elbow, shoulders, whatever. Joe Kawasaki style. You know, just win. All he got to do is win. That's it. You know, in this fight here, although it's in the AC, which really no fighter got the advantage, because Glen Johnson's from Florida and Jersey. I don't know what type of fan base is going to be there. I guess some of the brethren from Nottingham will fly over. JFK is in New York. It's a 2-hour drive from New York over to AC. So maybe it'll be a pro Carl Froch crowd. But like I said, Carl Froch want to bang from the outside and give him a whole bunch of work the old man legs. You know, we see Glen get old in the Tavares Cloud fight. Don't take too much in the Alan Green fight when Glen just aired him out all crazy. You know, don't take too much out of that fight because Alan Green, he just can't deal with pressure fighters, as history has shown us. So Glen at 50 would beat Alan Green. This fight for Glen Johnson to win this fight, he got to make Carl Froch make mistakes. He got to fight, like I just showed you, he got to shorten the ring up. And Glen, in my opinion, does a good job at closing the ring off. Now, both fighters said it's going to be an easy fight. You got Glen Johnson, trainer, saying it's going to be an easy fight. And you got Carl Froch saying the fight going to be easy fight. Me personally, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight. I think it's a fight where, as I mentioned, if Carl Froch carried the game plan out, he could win the fight, but it won't be easy because he's going to be tested for what he got here in his inside. Because we know Glen got a lot of that inside. You know, his heart definitely don't pump no Kool-Aid. Nor do Carl Froch, but Carl Froch is going to be definitely tested in this fight because, again, relentless pressure from Glen Johnson. He wants to fight, like I always say, those short 6 inches punches. Glen Johnson want to throw in. Granted, Glen ain't good P-hop. You know, he ain't Marvin Hagler where he going, you know, he's an excellent inside fighter, but he's good at what he's doing. He's good at keeping it short, throwing a bunch of over-the-head punches and all types of nonsense like that. You know, if Carl Froch gets willed into that type of fight, he's going to take an elbow. You know, he's going to take an elbow. I'm telling y'all that right now. He's going to lose. He's going to take an L if he gets suckered in that. He carries out the game plan move, work Glen Johnson, leaves, he'll win the fight. Let me just say this before I give my actual prediction. I think personally, if Glen wins this fight, it kind of messes the tournament up. I don't have a dog in the race, you know, but that being said, I think for the greater good of boxing, you know, with the whole USA versus UK thing, it's better. That's fun. We need that. Competition is always good in sports. And Carl Froch can do a lot of that. He can talk. Andre Ward don't talk. So you have the enemy, you know, versus the hero. So I think if Carl Froch's win, it's for the greater good of boxing. But it will be a compelling, real good story if Glen Johnson win because here he is, 40-something years old, a guy that got like 10, 11 losses and kind of revitalized his career, you know, from Roy Jones and to here to this tournament. So you got a couple different storylines going on. Me personally, I think it'd be better if Carl Froch win. That being said, I'm picking Carl Froch to win this fight. Again, I think it's going to be close. Carl Froch is going to have some scary moments, but he's going to have to use every inch of that ring, and he's going to have to bring out some boxing skills on Saturday night. Guards Your Girl Boxing, we here every Monday night on the radio show, that is. We was off last Monday. You know, we was doing a cookout thing here on Memorial Day weekend. But we going strong. GYGB, Guards Your Girl Boxing. We out.